Some of the foods you trust most, the ones you eat precisely because they're supposed to be good for you, are quietly working against your bones. And after 60, keeping that bone strength is a big part of staying steady and independent. So today I'll walk you through 5 so-called healthy foods worth a second look, why each one chips away at your bones, and what to eat instead. Good news is every one of them has an easy swap. But the number one offender is a leafy green sitting in almost every fridge, eaten daily by people sure they're doing everything right. We'll save that one for last. Your bones are not sitting still after 60. Every single day, your body pulls a little calcium out of them and puts a little back, like a savings account you never get a statement for. For most of your life, those two amounts stay close to even. But after 60, the deposits get harder to make. Your gut absorbs less calcium than it used to, and shifting hormones let your bones give it up more readily. So the balance was already leaning the wrong way before breakfast even started. None of this means your bones are doomed. It means the food on your plate has more say in the matter than most of us realize, in both directions. When more calcium goes in than comes out, you stay strong and upright. When the balance tips the other way, the account slowly runs down, and one ordinary slip on the porch step becomes a broken hip. A lot of foods aimed right at people your age tip that balance the wrong way, and they do it so gently you would never feel it happening. We will start gentle too, at number 5, and work our way up to that leafy green. Number 5 is canned soup. Not the creamy, indulgent kind you already side-eye, but the ones wearing the health halo, the cans labeled low-fat or heart-smart or garden vegetable. A warm bowl of soup feels like exactly what a careful eater should have for lunch, and in many ways it is. The salt is the problem. A single can of soup can carry a startling amount of sodium, and the tricky part is you cannot taste most of it, because it is cooked into the broth rather than sprinkled on top. Sodium and calcium are tied together in a way most of us were never taught. When you take in a lot of sodium, your body has to get rid of the extra, and on its way out, it drags calcium along with it. You flush calcium out in your urine, calcium your bones were counting on keeping. Do that once and there is no harm done. Do it every lunch for years, and you are emptying that savings account one bowl at a time. The swap is easy, and it does not mean giving up soup. Reach for the low-sodium version sitting right beside the regular one on the same shelf, or make a pot at home where you salt it yourself at the table, and a single pinch goes a long way. Rinse your canned beans before they go in too. That one pass under the tap washes away a good share of the sodium hiding in the can. And it is not only canned soup. The same hidden salt load shows up in deli meats, in frozen dinners with a healthy-sounding label, and in most restaurant soups. You do not have to chase every last milligram. Simply leaning toward the low-sodium choice most of the time is enough to tip the balance back your way. Number 4 might catch you off guard, because it is one of the foods most often recommended to anyone over 60. Raw wheat bran, the kind sprinkled over cereal or packed into the densest high-fiber muffins for regularity. It feels like the most virtuous choice in the whole kitchen. Fiber itself is genuinely good for you, and I am not here to make you afraid of it. But wheat bran carries a natural compound called phytate, and phytate has a habit of latching onto minerals in the same meal and holding them so tightly your body cannot absorb them. Calcium is one of those minerals. So picture your usual breakfast. You pour milk over a big bowl of bran cereal, thinking you are getting calcium from the milk and fiber from the bran, and the bran cancels out part of that calcium before it ever reaches your bones. Two healthy foods working against each other in the same bowl. So aim for smarter fiber instead. Oats, beans, fruit, and vegetables hand you all the digestive benefit without locking up your calcium the way concentrated raw bran does. And if you love your bran, keep it. Just do not eat your calcium-rich foods or take your calcium supplement at the very same sitting. Space them a couple of hours apart, and the problem mostly takes care of itself. This is one of those small mismatches that a lifetime of good intentions can hide. You were doing the healthy thing. The timing was just working against you. If that one surprised you, stay with me, because the closer we get to number 1, the bigger the surprise, and the leafy green waiting at the end fools the most careful eaters of all. Number 3 is one you might be holding in your hand right now. Coffee. And I want to be careful here, because coffee is not the villain of this story. A cup or two a day is fine for your bones, and it brings its own benefits. The trouble starts when coffee stops being a morning ritual, and turns into an all-day drip, cup after cup from breakfast until the middle of the afternoon. Caffeine gives calcium a gentle nudge toward the exit, pulling a small amount out of you each time you drink it. At 2 cups, that loss is so tiny your body shrugs it off, especially when you are eating enough calcium to begin with. At 6, 7, 8 cups, the losses stack up and start to matter. And be honest with yourself about the real number, because refills at the diner and that pot you keep warm on the counter add up faster than you would guess. The swap does not ask you to quit. Keep your morning coffee exactly as you love it. Then after your second cup, move to decaf or to water or to a milky drink that puts calcium back rather than pulling it out. A latte, oddly enough, is kinder to your bones than the same amount of black coffee, because the milk pays back what the caffeine borrows. So this is never coffee versus your bones. It is only a question of when you switch, and to what. That same trick runs through every food on this list. If this is helping so far, think about subscribing. I break down one of these food swaps every week, in plain language, with no scare tactics. Alright, number 2 is one almost everyone already suspects is bad for them. Soda, and I am counting diet soda right along with it, so nobody escapes on a technicality. Dark colas in particular carry a compound called phosphoric acid, which is part of what gives them that sharp bite. Your body does need some phosphorus, but the balance between phosphorus and calcium matters a great deal, and a steady flood of cola tips that balance in a direction your bones do not like. Soda also takes the place of better drinks. Every glass of it is very often a glass of milk or water you did not drink, so the cola nicks you a little on its own and then crowds out the thing that would have done you good. That double hit, harming a little while, pushing something better off the table, is what makes soda add up faster than people expect. For anyone over 60 who grew up with a cold bottle of cola at lunch, that habit stretches across decades of bone loss. The swap is refreshing and painless. Sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon gives you the same fizz and bite with none of the phosphoric acid. Keep a bottle cold in the fridge, so it is the easy reach when the craving shows up. One more small win. If you do have a cola now and then, drink it with a meal rather than sipping it alone through the afternoon. Pairing it with food softens its effect on your body, and it keeps soda an occasional treat instead of an all-day habit your bones pay for. And now the one I promised you at the very start. Everything you believe about this vegetable is about to flip. Number 1, the leafy green sitting in almost every fridge, eaten daily by people certain they are doing everything right, is spinach. I know. Spinach is supposed to be the hero of the plate. We grew up watching it turn a cartoon sailor into a strongman, and every list of calcium-rich greens puts it near the top. It even shows up on those lists, honestly, because technically it is true. A cup of cooked spinach really does contain a fair amount of calcium. But spinach is also loaded with a compound called oxalate, and inside spinach, the calcium and the oxalate are practically handcuffed together. That bond locks up nearly all of spinach's own calcium, so your body can barely take any of it in. You eat the calcium. You simply do not get to keep it. Only a small fraction ever makes it in, far less than you would absorb from a plain glass of milk. So the salad you built on purpose to strengthen your bones, or the big handful you drop into your morning smoothie sure you are doing your body a favor, maybe handing you a fraction of the calcium you thought. You would think someone would have mentioned this along the way. For most of us, no one ever did. And that is exactly why it earns the top spot. Every other food on this list at least looks a little suspect. Spinach walks in wearing the disguise of the perfect bone food, which is what makes the gap between what you expect and what you actually get so wide. Now, one important nuance. I am not telling you to throw spinach out. It is still full of good things like vitamin K and folate, and it is not doing your bones any harm. It just is not the calcium source you have been counting on. The swap is to get your calcium from foods your body can pull it from. Low oxalate greens like kale, bok choy, collard greens, and broccoli give up their calcium far more easily. Dairy, canned fish with soft edible bones, and calcium-set tofu do the same. Your body treats the calcium in those foods very differently, taking in far more of it than it ever could from spinach. And if you love a spinach salad, the fix is easy. Build the salad on a base of kale or mixed greens your body can use, then toss a little spinach on top for color and flavor. You keep the taste you love and get the calcium you actually need. So, there are your 5. Canned soup, raw bran, all-day coffee, soda, and the spinach you trusted most. Look at that list again, and something reassuring stands out. Not one of them asked you to go hungry or give up a food you love. Every fix was a swap, not a sacrifice. Rinse your beans before they go in the pot. Pull your fiber from oats and fruit instead of raw bran. Cap the coffee at 2 cups and switch to water after. Trade the cola for sparkling water with lemon. And round out your greens beyond spinach with kale and broccoli. Do these swaps for a few years, and your next bone scan will show you exactly what they were worth. Small choices on ordinary days are what put calcium back into that account instead of draining it. And that is what keeps you steady on your feet, out of the fracture clinic, and living on your own terms for years to come. Pick just one swap to start this week. One is genuinely enough to matter. Your bones have been keeping their side of the deal for more than 60 years, holding you up through every step you have ever taken. These small swaps are how you keep your side of it. If these plain language breakdowns help you eat with a bit more confidence, the channel is full of them. So stay a while and look around.